Hey everyone, I just moved. I kind of wanted to do something on this channel while working on my next big video and sorting out moving stuff, so I was thinking about stuff to talk about, and then my friend Viv showed me this. So, hey Viv, why don't you introduce yourself and explain, what this is.
Hello, I'm Viv. I have 3 videos out. All of them are okay. This thing, however, is the epitome of human creation.
How did you find this?
I honestly have very little recollection. I must have been... this came out in like 2013? 2013? Is it 2013? Actually, pause. Is it 2013? This came out in 2012. I would have been 14. I think I found it relatively soon after it came out. I don't remember how.
I honestly don't know where to start with this. Let's just, I guess, start at the beginning. Well, let's start with the name first. I thought this movie was called Theevan for the longest time. So I put it through Google Translate and it says it's Hindi, pronounced Theevan. I thought it was just like pronounced like how you'd say Steven if you had a lisp. Like this guy was promoting his favorite show, Theevan Universe.
This blows the non-lisp Steven universe right out of the water, I will say. It's not close.
It's a sequel.
Yeah. Okay, good. It finally got good.
I just want to go through this whole movie.
Yeah, it is worth noting that actually watching it, like the entire video, doesn't necessarily make it more clear either. So a chronological description is probably the best we're going to be able to do anyway.
It starts off with the best studio title card I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
This is Society of Theevan won all the Oscars it deserves.
I also just appreciate what I presume to be the creator just inserting pictures of himself at various stages.
The second note I wrote was, this woman has a very full head of hair at the start and then loses it within about a minute of the movie.
Yeah, the hair is kind of it's an interesting aspect of this. I will say my second note was just the word ant because of the ant at the beginning.
It's like bobbing up and down like a ship.
Yeah, there's something about it that's very like calming to me. I don't know why.
The movie starts off with a very compelling scene of, it's establishing our characters. We've got Theevan, we've got Mia. That's about it.
Right. Yeah, and they are related in some way. You have to assume wife. I hope that's what it is, because
you think it's a wife? I thought it was like a big sister.
I guess. I don't know. It always seemed to me like that was their sole connection in the world was each other, and that makes more sense if it's like husband and wife.
I completely went the other way, because this kid looks way too young to be married to this woman who is anywhere between 30 and 80 years old.
First of all, I think it's impressive that you've determined any kind of age from him, because he's as featureless as a newborn homunculus, which is what I presume him to be.
Which is why I think he's that young, because he's got like nothing there.
Yeah, but he's tall and he's bald, so it's not like a Caillou situation.
He's not tall. He's a kid.
Does it not?
He's about the same size as a goblin, and goblins are small, right?
Those were not normal goblins, though. Anyway, we can
right.
get to the...
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
In the first, I'm going to say 5 minutes, the plot is, we've got Theevan. He's living with his sister, wife, mother, grandmother, Mia. Mm-hmm. She has to go on a ship for some unspecified reason. Mia is on a mission. We don't know why, we don't know where, we just know she's got to get on that boat and get out, leaving Theevan all by himself.
Yeah, in more ways than one.
I'm gonna choose to ignore that.
No, because she dies.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
What? No, that's not... Also, in the montage, we can't skip past the shirts with the creator's face on it, just inexplicably. This little cameo
no,
there.
I was gonna get to the montage.
Yeah.
Her and Theevan have a minute-long adventure that I've no idea. They fly somewhere. They're just running around. Theevan's a little shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, he's an anti-hero. He's just rude. You know what I mean?
Mia's like handing her bags off to the thing, and they're just like, Theevan, get off!
Yeah.
By the way, we should just say that there is no voice acting.
Oh, well, yeah. There's no lip syncing either. There's text It's up to you to put it together.
Yeah, so I've just got in my notes there, bonding time with Mia and Theevan. And this was the first out of many times in this movie where I was surprisingly impressed by the camera work.
Yeah, I don't usually pay attention to that, but I did notice that in this past viewing that the camera work is oddly proficient for everything else.
It feels like this guy would be such a good director. His direction is genuinely pretty good for a lot of it, minus the issues that come with making a movie that I assume has a budget of about half a bag of Wotsits. Wait, do you know what Wotsits are?
I've heard of them. I've heard of the fabled artifact. Speaking of fabled artifacts, the weird rock, because his birthday's coming up.
I forgot about the gift that she gives him.
Oh yeah.
It looked like a rock, but it's not a rock. Yeah. Is it not?
I always interpreted it as like a weird kind of rock nut thing that just happens to hold a fun little present for birthday surprise.
Mia has to go off on the boat to do her job.
Yes.
This is such an emotional scene that the kid behind Theevan runs out of batteries for a few seconds.
I'm wondering who these people are. These, like, identical fucking Theevan clones.
This goodbye is also so tiring to Theevan that he needs to, like, rest for a few hours just at the same spot. All the other kids are gone.
A slow-ass boat, also.
No, I was literally just about to say, it's taken this boat like 3 hours to get probably about 100 meters away from shore. I've got them written down here now. Surprise dragon attack.
Yep.
Right, I was genuinely impressed by a couple of shots in this scene because the boat shatters. The hull of the boat shatters. Everything else, like, stays exactly how it was, but just gets, like, knocked off. Not even knocked off, just, like, stays in place while the rest of the boat falls over. Mia's dead.
Yeah.
And Theevan is obviously shook, as I was.
And just the purest expression of sheer agony at that fireplace scene that I've ever seen. It's haunting.
And you can see, like, the spark of revenge in his eye as well.
I mean, you can see a lot in those facial expressions.
So true, though. This is a theme that's, I think, is going to run through the whole movie, is not expecting for it to be as emotionally resonant as it really should be. I was ready to just laugh at, like, a bad animated thing.
No, there's soul in it. There's like a weird amount
There
of
is.
heart. It's clearly a passion project.
I love that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that so much. So Mia dies, and we have a little scene where Theevan's grieving over a campfire with two other assholes. He's wearing a hood. It makes him look like Mother Mary for some reason. This campfire scene was actually when I realized what every character reminds me of. Everyone in this movie looks like a Dark Souls character.
Yeah, you know what? I can see it. I can see it.
Everyone is a deprived Dark Souls build.
Honestly, that would explain a lot.
Oh my god, the physics as well.
No, yeah, like it's there we go. Do you think we've cracked the code here?
We've cracked the Theevan code. So our call to action in this movie is, you know, Mia's dead. There might be a way to save her, though. We might be able to resurrect her. This absolute dick tells Theevan that the stars are going to be aligned and change color if he goes to this mountain by himself. And that's how he'll get Mia back, which obviously we care about deeply.
Right.
After, I mean, how could you not after that market scene?
The music really made me feel something towards her. I could like feel that being picked out of a fucking like stock library. It's like, this is the happy music before the fall.
Oh, no, yeah, I completely forgot about the stock music and sound effects in this. There's no voice acting, but god damn is Thilkaman gonna make the best out of Audio Jungle's stock music library.
Yeah, he's a true maestro with the tools he's been given, even if they are cow tools.
Stock music library and the Avatar soundtrack.
Oh god, is that what it is? Yeah. Shit, I didn't even realize that. Oh my god.
Did you not watch the 5 minutes long credit sequence where he lists out all the Avatar songs he used?
No, by that time I'm too overwhelmed with emotion and...
Okay, you're already like in tears by that point.
Yeah.
You can't see the screen, they're blurred up. Theevan pimp walks his way to the mountain. Out of this campsite, he's going to save Mia and immediately fucks up his posture.
You have to make sacrifices over the course of the hero's journey, and if that means doing the virgin walk, that's an important thing.
It has the stock dramatic sound effect that everything has.
Mm-hmm. God, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
The do 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 do.
Yeah. I love the cut. Great cuts. That's one thing.
The comedic timing of that dramatic sound effect is too well done for it to not be intentional, right?
It reminded me of a YouTube poop. Do you want to talk about the Goblin Forest now?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll talk about the goblins. I've just got written in my notes, surprise goblin attack.
This is probably one of my favorite scenes I've seen in anything. It makes me laugh every single time. It's incredible.
They're just beating the shit out of this kid. They do some like Matrix shit. They do some John Wick shit.
Well, he does the same bat kick like 3 times.
I didn't even notice that. It was too fluid for me to notice.
Yeah.
I don't know why he decided to bring a sickle with him, of all things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it worked. It did the job.
You're not wrong there. It did work. I can't really say much about the fight scene other than I was obviously on the edge of my seat at all times.
The Super Mario 64 spin also, when like the goblin picks him up by his feet and swings him like it's Mario fighting Bowser.
Yes! I forgot the goblin so long gay Bowser's him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even as a rest. I don't know why he thought he could rest like straight away after scaring the goblins off with fire.
Well, it's like when you're in prison and you fight off the biggest guy in the courtyard at first. There's nothing scarier in that forest other than those goblins. They're the kings.
And Theevan.
Well, yeah, Theevan is now the king of the forest.
And then we get a montage of like all these different landscapes that Theevan has just traversed. He goes through like the desert, he goes through the jungle at one point, I'm pretty sure.
He never stops doing his pimp stride.
We know he's going towards the mountains, but it looks like he's traveled 5 times around the world.
Well, yeah, he has a whole thing with those strange laprises. Those like blue dragon things.
And that's what confused me even more, was he was like swimming, but it seemed like he was just swimming across a pond that he could have just gone around.
What always confuses me about that too is like you're trying to figure out if they're evil or not. Or at least for me, you're looking at them and you're thinking, are they evil?
No, I thought that. I was like, oh, these are like some majestic creatures. Even when like one of them was trying to eat him, I was like, oh, they're just like carrying him in his mouth. And then I hear a slash sound. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Did Theevan just like cut the tongue off of this thing?
Theevan lays waste to every ecosystem he encounters.
Theevan's actually the villain of this story.
Well, yeah. Theevan is trying to subvert the forces of life and death. In many ways, he's a lot like the Palpatine of the story.
Suddenly, these creatures go from like majestic to absolutely terrifying in about a second.
Yeah, that's kind of impressive from a filmmaking standpoint, how you can just shift the tone on a beast like that. And he gets saved by the dragons once more.
I was thinking about the friendly dragon.
Right.
It looks so much like Lugia.
It does, yeah.
I'd be really interested to see which models he modeled and which ones were just bought off an asset store.
I mean, it would probably be in the fucking credits, which are a mile long.
Yeah, no, I did look at the credits, and he did have like 5 different asset stores credited.
Yeah, no, he cites his sources. He's got integrity.
He does.
Yeah.
I respect that. So after Theevan gets saved by Lugia, he goes through a training montage, but we don't know why. He's just kind of punching the air for a few minutes.
So it's unclear how long it takes. He could have been out there for years. Who knows?
Well, that's the thing. Again, where this movie is being so emotionally resonant for some reason. By the end of this training montage, I was like, oh, Theevan does look a bit older, but I can't tell why.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't grown any hair.
His model has not changed, but his like facial expression tells you everything you need to know.
I wonder if the lack of hair is maybe an ounce of self-awareness on the creator's part, because he knows he can't do hair very well. So his main character not having hair is better than it having bad hair.
But like, there are other characters that have hair and it doesn't look bad. It's literally just Mia whose hair is messed up.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
This is my theory. Old Philip Catherine, he credits render farm in his movies. So I'm thinking, what is a render error that he just couldn't afford to fix and what isn't? Because again, Mia's hair looks fine for the first like 10 seconds of this movie.
Yeah, time can hit pretty quickly, you know. You wake up, you think everything's going fine, then your hairline immediately falls off within seconds.
It was an omen. Theevan climbs this mountain, and he's really going for it. You know, this is the climax of the movie, and then surprise dragon attack 2.
Yep, this dragon seems to have it out for Theevan.
There's just a fight scene for about 3 minutes, I think, and I obviously didn't write any notes on that other than, God, this is so epic.
I love the run he does. Theevan runs like a toddler. It's great.
There are some animations where I can't tell if it's like just a genuine animation glitch or if he was planning to like have that look better and it just didn't. Best example I can think of is right at the start where Mia is like, come on, eat something, and her head like jolts away for 2 like nanoseconds and then goes back, and I'm thinking, did the animator just like mean for her to like kind of tilt her head like towards some food or something, or was that just an animation error that he couldn't afford to fix?
Like, I will say one thing that's inspiring about this channel is that if you look at his videos, he progressively does get better and better in terms of like modeling and stuff.
Oh no, I am a Thilikanathan fan now. I love this movie.
Yeah. It's incredible.
I will be watching this again.
No, that's how it gets you. That's the thing.
So the dragon dies because the water demon comes and kills it. And again, it just makes me question whether these laprises are good or evil, or if this is just like a rules of nature kind of moment. Oh, something that also made me question, is this a revenge story or is this a, you know, redemption story? Is he sees Mia in the dragon's eye.
Yeah, I guess the dragon is her? Like, what was the situation? Like, why did it kill her then? Or did it like absorb her? Or was she reincarnated? Or is this another dragon?
See, you're working on completely different levels to me. I assumed this was like a Theevan realized, oh, this is a living thing as well.
Okay.
I feel like this is when he sees that revenge isn't worth it, and he just kind of lets it like happen, because he doesn't try to attack the dragon after that. I'm pretty sure he's pretty shook up from seeing Mia in its eye.
Well, because the dragon then it gets like.
Does it die immediately after?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he's sad because he's at the mountaintop. He thinks, okay,
yeah,
it's time for the the prophecy to be fulfilled. The stars will become colorful, and then they're not.
He sits there for 4 days, and then he goes crazy and dies.
Does he die, or does he just kill himself for like no reason? He sees some kind of vision of heaven that is then reversed, and they show the whole thing in reverse.
See, I didn't even see that as like a vision of heaven or anything.
You thought it was just an idealized version of his life?
I thought it was just like hallucinations.
What? This is like the most like cynical, grimdark version of Theevan I've ever heard.
I was genuinely quite shook by Theevan. I watched it with a friend for the first time, and we were both like dead silent.
I always interpret it as she can't be resurrected because she's in heaven. See, look, Theevan, I'm in my beautiful heaven cottagecore home. You can come in whenever you want. And he goes, ah, shit, for real? And then he just kills himself, and that's the happy ending. Because that's why, as he's killing himself, you see all the visions of, like, Mia and stuff superimposed on the frames.
See, for me, I saw all that as, like, hallucinations.
No, I'm pretty sure that's real. Everything that happens in this movie is real.
I mean, this does have dragons in.
Right.
So you think this is a happy ending, then?
Well, I think it's intended to be a happy ending, but he does kill himself, so your mileage may vary.
I just saw it as a tragedy.
Well, I mean, if there's, like, eternal life in the afterlife, then it's a good thing to do that. Well, okay, don't quote me on that.
You heard it here first, folks. Viv says if you believe in heaven, kill yourself right now.
No, I'm not that kind of channel. I think that it's an uplifting story about how sometimes a dragon kills your wife and you get beaten up by goblins, but not fully, and you keep walking and you kill yourself. And that's fine sometimes if it's, because the dragon is your dead wife.
No, I've got such a bleaker interpretation of Theevan than you do. I saw this as the journey of one poor boy who wanted to save his sister. Maybe the heaven imagery and all that was real. He actually does see the stars and they come and like save him, even though he is incredibly food and water deprived for about like 4-5 days at this point. He sees Mia in heaven or something. I saw that as a flashback more than anything.
Right. So your view is much more realism focused.
Yes.
Right.
Even though there are dragons and laprises and magic in this world.
Well, but if you're 7 years old and like 2 inches tall as Theevan is, that could just be like a regular earthworm in a normal pond.
Yeah, no, this movie ended on such an emotional roller coaster, but like, it's an emotional roller coaster of a movie, to be honest. I was expecting this to be just like a oh haha funny bad 3D animation, and it genuinely affected me. I don't know. I love this movie. I wanted to share it with all of you.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece.
Well, thanks for joining me on this journey, Viv. If you haven't checked out her channel yet, please do. She doesn't usually have a rantsona, but this was just something I chose to do.
Yeah, I am shocked and horrified at this perversion of my image, but I will allow it for the purpose.
Where do you want to be?
Huh?
You've got a rantsona now. You can be anywhere.
That's true. I'd like to be in front of the Eiffel Tower.
Whoa, there you are.
I'd like to be on the surface of the sun. I want to be on Drama Alert.
I'm not editing that.
I know. If you're interested in media analysis and you aren't subscribed to like 100,000 other channels that do that, I made a video about Spore. You could look at that. It's about the Spore aquatic stage.
It's a good video.
Thanks. Thank you.
Okay, with that, I don't know how to do this video. This is fucking going in the garbage.